Hello everybody and a warm welcome to DRC Digital Racing Championship. From wherever part of the world you are joining us, good morning, good evening and good afternoon. It is myself, Zabi, and I'll be your commentator for tonight for round one here at the Bahrain Grand Prix, for hopefully for many races to come. Just before we get started, I'd like to give out a bit of a warning that EA has been not so kind, so if there is a few disconnections, apologies about that. So we're just out here now, round one it is. Apparently, I guess the title and stuff is not updated, so apologies about that, but I only had the stream key, so I did not have the authority of changing that at all. And let's get started then. I'm apologies about that, not sure what season this is, but here at DRC, it is going to be a great one. As 19 drivers here tonight in the shot qualifying after a long time. They return to Bahrain, so that is interesting to say the least. As even for myself, personally, commentating, returning to Bahrain has been a long time. As Max is out on track at the moment, as we are here. Right now, 19 drivers. That's going to be somewhat of a great racing opportunity. So, my first time here, Digital Racing Championship. Apologies if any of you guys' names are pronounced not the way you want them, but obviously first time, so definitely we'll get through it in a couple of races. Wraith then, at the moment, out, not ahead of everyone. In fact, ahead of everyone is the RB of Max. He was out on the track very first, ahead of everyone. And honestly, I don't even remember the last time I was around Bahrain commentating a race around it. So that's going to be definitely somewhat of a interesting thing to see as well. As a couple of other drivers, Justin and Thunder, the two teammates, back in Swift as well. It's obviously a collaboration between the two leagues. Obviously, you know, putting the drivers in both together, and something is now overloaded. Something is overloading, I guess. Hoping that everything's going to be fine. For a moment, I would have thought that something is lagging, but hopefully not. And eventually, I'm hoping everything's going to be fine. Otherwise, I might have to keep on things, because basically I stream with a capture card, considering obviously stream is on from my PC, but the game is running on my PlayStation, so that should not have any worries out there. And now looking at drivers, anybody who has started their flying a lap, it is Wede who started his lap as well. So has Max started their lap, heading towards turn 3 there, locks in the heavy braking zone, tries to take it nice and easy at the moment. Let's get this telemetry out of the way. Lap data enabled. It's going to be there. He's invalidated it, and straight away he's invalidated. I wonder if he's going to slow down right now or continue on, but look at that then. Ray, the 911 at the moment, now continuing as well. What about the McLaren? He was the second drivers to start his flying lap, and his first sector was 28.7. How good is this one going to be? Turn 9 and 10, and one of the trickiest corners here around the Sakir circuit, as Max is going to be getting out of the way of the McLaren. He wouldn't have done it previously, but he might have not needed to do it previously. What about this one now? The end of that middle sector now. He's coming up to it though, just a few corners away from it. This is a pretty tricky corner from games from previous years ago. Not so on this one. 107.087 so far, so that is going to be interesting to see how good and fast is this one going to be over the finish line. They might have wanted to improve in terms of overall speed, but still it's going to be a benchmark for drivers, a benchmark for everyone to beat. Can they beat it around those? Backlight is flashing, so I wonder if he's using hot lap or medium at this point in time. And over the finish line, how much of a lap is this going to be? All right. We've been disconnected again. What about the stream? Apparently the stream's running. Interesting. The stream is running, and it was even only a couple of, just a few laps. Only a few, not even a few laps, just single lapping in qualifying, and we have already gotten disconnected. And as I said, servers, at least let me hang there for a little bit longer, a little bit more of a time than we wish for at the moment, at least, because let's hope for the best. That's all we can say, honestly. So there we go. Hopefully we should be joining in back in to the qualifying session and out to racing once more. Looking at the drivers so far, we had a benchmark driver time from the McLaren driver. I don't think that's going to be one of the very fast times around here, but we'll have to find out. Still a lot remains in this qualifying session, so stick around. Let us know in the comments, who do you think is going to be your fast driver? Only round one, so we don't have much of the benchmarks, at least some, at least for me, who doesn't know many drivers around here. I do know a couple, but all from Swift. There's Mars Crater at the moment as Van fastest. That is brilliant as Mars Crater in the Aston Martin. A bit weird to see him in an Aston Martin. I've seen him before in a McLaren, so that is absolutely brilliant so far. Obviously, others are going to be around, setting up laps as well. Striker Boy, he was part of the Red Bull winning the Constructors' Championship at Swift the previous season. Prototype in the pits at the moment, 128.6 from him as well. So interesting lap times from these drivers. What about the Haas duo of Zuki and Vaz? Zuki's coming around the final corner now. How good is this one going to be? Fast enough? Not yet, though. It's going to be the 130.8. That is P15 and last slowest of the running cars. What about Striker? I think he's coming into the pits. Yes, he is. What about Waz? His teammate in the 130s. What about his teammate Waz? He's going to be very fast and goes on to the front row. And what a lap from Waz there, as he's going to put a time 128.547, and what a lap time that is so far. One Haas at the bottom, other almost at the top, and job well done to him as Justin goes P5 as well. A very good lap from him. Meanwhile, the McLaren behind, one is George, the other was another one's George's Mercy, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. I had the list of names of drivers, but just too lazy to look at that, honestly. But let's have a look at this one then. It is going to be Mars Crater. He's on a flying lap now. We have him on pole position so far. Are we going to see him go on to the pits? He definitely has no ERS left. He's used all of his battery, and he's definitely going to be using that to get it all and all he can to improve his time and challenge others to pole position even more. And he's going to do that. 128.027 now. And the challenge to others is going to be a big one there, as Waz Striker 128.547 and 549, only 2,000 of a second between the two teammates as well. That's definitely going to be something to look at. Can Zuki do it? Can Zuki do something that we don't know about? No, he can't, at least for the moment, as we're nearly halfway mark in qualifying. Almost 9.5 minutes remain in this qualifying session. What about Hart here in the Ferrari around the final corner now? A different Ferrari livery there, a special Ferrari livery, and over the finish line, a second down on his previous time. What about George? But he's just going to be starting their flying lap at the moment. Waz around the final corner. I wonder if they're going to come into the pits, or no, they're going to continue on. So that means they've taken this as a outlap, and now we'll be using that as a flying lap at the moment. One of the Alpine drivers is making their way around the final corner, but they are on a outlap as well, so a lot to look for at the moment as Mars Crater on pole position. Waz in P2, Striker in P3 with Prototype and Justin completing the top 5. With George out of it, Croissant in P7, Thunder in P8, so Wraith and Hart completing out the top 10. Others behind starting their laps as well. What about Thunder? Has he came across the line? Yes, he has. 129.082. That is going to be P8 for him so far. A couple of drivers behind coming around the final few laps. I wonder if they are on flying laps. Yes, they are. Oh, in fact, they're just starting their flying lap. That is Speeder at the moment as it stands. Lap P18 obviously, but without a lap time. So out of 19 drivers, 16 have got a time on board. All 16 have got a time that is going to be decent enough to see them do a job good enough. So hopefully everything's going to be okay. And at the moment, I don't know why. Hopefully it's going to be running all okay, the stream and stuff, but for some reason, if I go and check some other things around on my PC, then only it starts acting weird. What about George, though? How better of a lap time he does. Goes on to P5, 128.6, that is. A decent lap time from him. Meanwhile, Striker is going to be coming over the line, starting his flying lap. What about Viz? Waz, does he improve? No, he doesn't. 2 tenths down on his previous time. Needs 5 tenths minimum to improve up. Unless somebody could really, find a lap that's going to be absolutely brilliant for anybody to beat, I doubt that he's getting beaten by anybody. Obviously, a lot remaining in qualifying with Mexico and Gap Reaper without a lap time, speed or not, with a competitive time as well. So unless somebody, either it's going to be Vaz, Striker, or Thunder, could improve a huge time, anybody in the top 5, or somebody could come out of Celebes and really do a job again, as it is going to be Striker improves by 1/10, but it's going to be heading into the pit straight away as he's invalidated. So Bahrain, not one of the hardest circuits, but also not one of the easiest circuits. Some places and places on the track which could have you invalidate your lap. Meanwhile, one McLaren in P6. The other stays in P12 as one of the Haas drivers going to be coming into the pit lane. One man who would not like to come into the pit lane. This is going to be Max, but is he going to be coming into the pit lane? No, he's going to go over the finish line. Does he improve? Find a little bit on his time? Yes, he does. About 2/10, but still going to be staying in P13. 130.043. Needs a minimum 5/10 to go on to P12. One of the Red Bulls, and that is going to be of Juno, but he's going to be coming into the pit lane. Meanwhile, the Williams is going to be going over the line, or in fact, he's going to be coming into the pit lane as well. What about the Mercedes of Thunder? He's going to come into the pit lane as well. It's 5.5 minutes now remain here in the qualifying session. 17 out of the 19 drivers have got a time on board. One Aston Martin and one Williams of Gap Reaper and Maisco haven't got a time on board so far. When will they be doing that, and where will they be doing that? Will that lap time be good enough? We are about to find out. We don't know just yet. And how is this going to be? Obviously, Amit Masquerades are still on pole by over 5/10 nearly, and everyone needs a mega job. Every driver around will need a brilliant job really to get an improvement. Meanwhile, the other McLaren does find an improvement but stays where he is. 129.150. He's only 24,000 of a second though, 24,000 to the next car, then Red's 115 as well. So a bit of close drivers. It's like the top 4, you know, from P1 28.0, then it is P2 to P6, in fact, to all the way to P9. It is in the 128s, you know, 128.3s to 128.925. Even if you leave out Juno out of there, it's a 128.3 to 128.6 between all of these drivers so far around. And now with the amount of time that remains in qualifying so far, it's going to be interesting to look at things, whether how good can these drivers do and how much they are looking for. What about Prototype at the moment? He's slowed down to maybe let others get past. He's definitely not on a flying lap at the moment, or is he? Because he's using his ERS. Yes, he is. He's on a medium. He's not harvesting, so you would have thought. I thought he might have ran a little bit wide, but he might not have. That is interesting then, as one of the Williams drivers going to go over the line. That is going to be Reaper improving, starting his flying lap, and Prototype is improving, so I might have been wrong thinking about that. He's went a little bit wide, so there we go. There was a yellow flag in that area, or in fact it might have been his teammate then letting others get past, because might have just judged their own car from the mini-map. But over the finish line, he's going to come, Prototype, but he's going to go on to the front row. Meanwhile, his teammate is in P3. He's going to push him even down further, and the two Kick Sauber teammates are rapidly driving brilliantly so far, as Prototype has now went on to the front row, and his teammate is in P3 as well. At the moment he's on a flying lap, but at the moment he comes on a flying lap, it is going to be brilliant and absolutely well done to the Sauber teammates so far. What about the two Ferraris of Wraith and Hart at the moment starting their flying lap? So yet to really show the magic. 2.5 minutes now remain in qualifying session, so whoever comes out on track would pretty much stay out on track, because if you go in right now, it would be very unlikely that you get to come out and do a lap time in enough time. Obviously, if you're still in the pits, you might have enough time to come out and do a lap, but if you go in, then it won't be enough for you to go in and come back and then do a lap again. What about Reaper, the only driver along with the Aston Martin without a lap time on board? And how good and fast is this one going to be? Over the finish line, only to match slightly lower than his teammate, 131.4. So P17 and 18, Williams almost replicating its real-life performance from a few years ago. Obviously not anymore, but from a few years ago, obviously Williams being a backmarker team in Formula 1. They're not a backmarker, I think, right now. Right now they're rather a midfield team, if you could say. Obviously, it'll be interesting to see how good the teams do in real life, actually. In Formula 1, be it Alpine, be it Williams, it'll be very interesting with the new regulations. Meanwhile, one Alpine is improving, and what about the other Sauber of Croissant? He's going to be on an out lap at the moment. So he's came out, actually. He's went in and he's now came out. So he's going to be rapidly pushing, so he gets to go over the line. What about the two Ferraris that were starting their laps earlier on? Are going to be finishing their laps just right now. Hart is going to go over the line, goes on to P9, improves a little bit. What about his teammate? He doesn't seem to be improving. How much does he improve, or does he improve? No, he does not. And what about Juno? He's going to be starting his flying lap in the Red Bull. Ed All, as Prototypes retired out of the session, pretty much making it his end of qualifying then. His teammate just enough in the end gets a lap in to get started around here. What about Stryker then? He's going to be starting his lap as well. So interestingly, a couple of drivers got to start their laps, and now whoever comes over the line will be their final lap, and a few of them have taken the checkered flag already as well. So if you come over the line, it's gonna be interesting now. So whoever comes over the line, qualifying will be over for them, and I think Juno's let others get past. Yes, he has, as his own lap has been invalidated. What about Vaz? He's not improving on his time at all. Meanwhile, his teammate Zuki is in P16, as Juno's going to come into the pits, I guess. What about Zuki? Does he need to improve? Yes, he does need to improve, though, and he does improve in the end. Goes P13, and Aston Martin of Masquerator. Is he going to improve even further? Yes, he will. 127.6, and he's going to get the job done. And pole position is going to be even harder to get for everyone around. And he's absolutely dominated, nearly taking pole position by 6/10, and he's got the job done. Prototype in P2 with George in P3 at the moment, has taken the checkered flag as well. So the other Sauber of Croissant at the moment. And what about I wonder if there is an Alpine that needs, oh no, it's not an Alpine, it is the RBs. Looks like he's going to go and take the checkered flag. Yes, he will. What about the Sauber behind over the line? That's going to be P3, pushing George down into P4. What about the two Mercedes teammates over the line? Around the final corner comes Does Thunder, and meanwhile Justin goes P2. So much happening around here in the ending moments of qualifying, and Justin nearly goes 128.0, but Masquerator improved even further. And what a qualifying session, ladies and gentlemen. At the very end there, Masquerator, Justin, Croissant, George, Stryker, Thunder, Vaz in P8. He was looking very competitive at the start. Hart, Juno, Wraith, Well Day, Zuki, Max, and so much has happened so far. Brilliantly done, and well done to these drivers. Who do you think is going to be winning? I think Crater in the end. What a lap from him. So far, takes pole position by nearly, oh, in fact, it's by 3/10. Obviously, it would have been by more, a little bit by about 5/10, but Justin in the end improved. So that is, ladies and gentlemen, then Masquerator on pole with Justin, Prototype, Croissant, sorry if I'm pronouncing your name wrong, but George, Stryker, Vaz, Hart, Juno, Wraith, Well, Zuki, Max, Emperor, Crawford, Speeder, Reaper, and in the end, the only driver who didn't have a lap time on board was Mazeco. And I wonder if there's going to be a bit of a break before we get started into the race, or we'll get straight into it, and straight away it is going to be, okay, do not ready up, please. It says we will not then be readying up. Don't even think in the end. So brilliantly done. And what a lap from Ayan there. Obviously, that was just Masquerator, and I think absolutely brilliant. And interesting to say the least, as it stands. So waiting for players. Obviously, I mean, drivers now will be getting ready up, getting their setups ready, getting their things ready for everything around. Obviously, teams will be getting their drivers ready. The drivers will be waiting to get started, select their strategies, select what they think will be the best for the race, what they think will be the best for them. It's going to be absolutely brilliant to watch. Obviously, qualifying was interesting, and I think if qualifying is to anything to go by, we might just see a slight dominance from Masquerator. Obviously, it'll be interesting to see whether how good he's actually able to do, and I myself actually haven't had a look at the live stream, so I might want to have a look at it. I'll do it from my phone in case I disconnect myself by simply removing it out, so doing anything to stream of the game, because obviously I do not want that so far. So hopefully everything's okay. Unfortunately, I don't have the chat, so apologies about that if you are in the saying anything in the chat. It'll be interesting to see so far. So let's have a look at it. It's going to be a couple of minutes wait, I guess, before we get started, and then we will be back as soon as we're back out on track and racing to go. Yeah, titles are indeed odd. Apologies about that. I didn't have the full access. I simply was given the and it's season 13. Okay, titles back then. It's updated, so that is great. It's round 1, season 13, DRC Digital Racing Championship. Brilliant. So it's going to be everything out there, and I think I will be back as soon as everything's ready, and I think everything is readying up right now, which I'm assuming there's going to be a formation lap, but even if not, we should be ready in a few moments' time. There we go then, so it's going to be 29 laps here around Sakir for the Bahrain Grand Prix, round 1, season 13 of Digital Racing Championship. Ladies and gentlemen, so it's a two-stop strategy for 29 laps of racing, but that's interesting to see. The only 2 drivers opting for a set of hards, otherwise everyone on a set of either mediums or softs at the moment. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 drivers on a set of medium compound tires. 8 drivers on a set of 9 on a set of mediums, 8 on a set of on a set of soft tires as it stands, and the remaining 2 are out on a set of hard tires. I think no, medium tires actually not going to be 9. That's going to be about 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They are 9, so there might be somewhat calculation issues, but there we go. So it is interesting to see as their drivers are now warming their tires up, getting ready. Definitely Masquerator will be readying up to get a better start, to get a lap, to get a start good enough, to get a lap, to get a start good enough. And that was brilliant, and I think as somewhat things have happened out there, so that is interesting to say the least as things stand. Obviously interesting to say the least as we are around there, and now there we go, everyone's coming around and getting to the end of this one as the formation laps is coming to an end. A lot of drivers getting disqualified out of it. Remember, if you get disqualified from the formation lap, you have cold tires, so your tires are not warmed up at all. Some drivers are complaining about it, but I doubt anything is going to be happening at all, and we should be getting to the race start very soon, and we will be getting into it, ladies and gentlemen, for the Bahrain Grand Prix. It's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 lights are out, and we go racing here at the Bahrain Grand Prix. The lights were held for too long. It's going to be a very good start for Justin as well, along with Masquerator, going side by side, heading towards stand 1. Prototype's going to be there as well, joining the party, almost making it 3 wide, and the top 2 are going to make contact, and still going to be side by side. Justin might take the lead here, They're still going to be side by side, wheel to wheel between the two. Justin's taking the lead as Masquerade is now going to head to the inside line to try and go for it, send it in there. He doesn't, or in fact he does. They're now going to be wheel to wheel once more. Who's going to be coming out on top? And this has to be brilliant so far, as now once again it has to be Crater, but the inside line's going to be to Justin this time. He just hangs it behind and keeps it a little bit out of problematic, and job well done. And what a start that was. Crater still takes on and continues his lead with Justin in P2. Prototype, but a very good start for him as well. Keeps it Pete the Ray with George in P4 at the moment, as the other Sauber in P5 so far. Max in P6 on the set of soft compound tyres. How many positions did he gain there? 8 positions. Absolutely mega start from Max out there. 8 position as Max gained. A brilliant job from the RP drivers. Meanwhile, Thunder in P7 at the moment. I wonder if he's lost out positions. Meanwhile, Wraith and Zuki are fighting each other as well. That's interesting between the two. Ferrari, meanwhile, at the back, Juno and others fighting as well. A couple of drivers, a lot of fightings and positions going on. Meanwhile, there's going to be there we go then, we are back in it once more. Apologies about that one more time, ladies and gentlemen, as we are back in it now on lap 5 out of 29. So Prototype is your new race leader, and that means that Masquerator has lost out the lead. He's lost out the lead to authority of the lead so far, but for how long is the case? Because Prototype on a set of soft tires won't be holding around for a little bit too long, because definitely the fight is going to be on, and it is going to be brilliantly done, as a challenge is going to be on the way from Masquerator heading towards turn 1. Does he go for it on the inside line? Yes, he does. Is he going to be late to the brakes? Yes, he will be, and gets the move done. But does he run a little bit wide? No, he doesn't, and the move has been done by Masquerator so far. Job well done to him. Meanwhile, at the back, George is within 6/10 of the other side, but Juno 1.8 seconds. Thunder only 6/10 behind Juno as well. This could be interesting between the two. Meanwhile, the Aston Martin driver, who didn't put an uptime on board, is already in P12 out of P20 within 6 laps. So definitely he might be a man on a mission at the moment so far. As it stands, he's trying to get the things done. He's trying to get job done so far as it stands. So brilliantly doing so far as it stands from the Aston Martin drivers, trying to gain position. He in fact has gained a lot of positions as it stands. So now, is he going to be moving forward, or he might have to fight there for a little bit, as the next car 9/10 to him, as the top two are going to be there, as Crater has taken his lead. But anytime we could see Prototype come back at him so far. Obviously the medium tire and the soft tire, it's going to be a different strategy so far. Obviously these would have been the 5 or 6 laps that Crater would, Prototype would be a little bit faster, because now I think anytime now the soft tire runners should be coming into the pit lane so far. And now there's going to be another opportunity for Prototype to take it around the main straight, and he will take it with both hands. As heading towards then, when he's run a little bit wide, he's going to run a little bit, or very wide. He goes deep, but comes back in no time. And a very well recovery there, because you would have thought that he's fallen into his own trap, but no, he recovers well. And comes back out of it in no time. Lap 7 out of 29 so far, so pretty early on in this race, but still, these drivers are going for it, and they're really not holding back at all. 4/10 between a lot of drivers within 1 second of each other, so that is interesting. And now this little fight, as Maisco is in P11 and already has got him past Gap Preeper in P12, with Emperor not far behind these guys as well. So maybe a three-way fight you could call as interesting, as Zuki in P10 with Dai in P9, P8 for Striker, Thunder in P7, chasing up Juno in that Red Bull. So that could be an interesting fight between the Mercedes and the Red Bull out there. So that could be an interesting thing as well. So let's see. getting things done out there as it stands. So now, I mean, at the moment, obviously drivers look at that as DNF, as the Sauber of Grayson is DNF, and that is going to be a safety car, ladies and gentlemen. Not sure what has happened out there. We're going to be watching it from the POV of Maisco as the car is already cleared out, and it is going to be a safety car on lap 7 out of 29. Meanwhile, the Aston Martin driver's parked up. He's got a drive-through penalty. He's got a drive-through penalty, as a lot of other drivers have got a couple of penalties coming into the pit lane as well. And it is already spicing up now on lap 8 out of 29. Definitely those on the set of soft tires have got a great opportunity, but they've not pitted. But I think they might have got the safety car, might have just came out after they were past the pit entry, so that would be the only reason you'd think that the top 4 has not yet pitted in this race. Otherwise, every single driver is going in for a set of brand new tires, for a set of brand new tire compound out there. So that is definite performance, and I think he says that was random. Not quite sure what really happened, but definitely, I mean, it wasn't a place to crash. You know, there's no walls, especially around the exit of the final corner. There's a huge runoff area on the outside line, so I wonder what could have really been the reason. If we do hear something from him, I'll let you guys know. And that is interesting, as obviously you're all wondering what exactly happens and what, or in fact, why did it really happen as it did. But obviously now only one Sauber after looking very strong, the two teammates, and yes indeed that was a reason that the top 4 couldn't pit. They were far away, they were past the pit entry when pit lane came in. So now that is interesting. I wonder if George in P5 at the moment will be able to get an overtake and get a position on any of the top 4 drivers out there. I wonder though. One Mercedes is in, the other comes back right behind him as well, but I wonder if Prototype is going to be challenged. No, in fact, behind the safety car. In fact, Masquerator's gained it. He has gained the lead in the pit lane, and in the pit lane he's gained a what maybe not would have been his before the pit stop. So definitely a job well done to him, and brilliantly done. All the top 4, or no, in fact Thunder doesn't, as the top 3 exits out, but Thunder probably because Mercedes did a double stack, so it wouldn't have really been the best, maybe not best of opportunities, but best in a way that. And interesting. So, okay, so he's a random snap on exit. That is interesting. So he says random snap on exit is what exactly happened for our retiree out of this race, and the only DNF, you know, that did not finish driver so far in this race, at least only on lap 9. So a lot remains, to be fair, a lot is remaining. So definitely a couple of laps behind the safety car now. So Masquerator leads ahead of Prototype, ahead of Justin in P3, with George in P4, Juno in P5, with Thunder in P6 as Maxi gets a 3-second time penalty. A lot of drivers with penalties, so that's a look at that. Thunder 3-second with Wealth in P7 with a 9-second time penalty. Then Zuki and Striker clean with the Reaper, the 10-second time penalty. He should be paid at the next pit stop by him, but he needs to be very careful he doesn't get another one, at least for sure, as Emperor Chaos in P11, Emperor in P11, Mark in P12. The two LB teammates in P11 and 12, with Maxi in P13, Wraith in P14, Waz in P15 as it stands. And Maisco drive-through penalty. A drive-through penalty for him. That is interesting to say the least, but speeder at the moment, P17, 3-second time penalty as well. Is there drivers coming into the pits? Not sure. In fact, yes, there are a few drivers. In fact, Reaper is into the pits and is going to pay that penalty just right out. That is interesting to say the least, honestly, because you would have thought, unless he doesn't like the hard tire at all, he wants the medium tire to go on, but you would have thought, okay, you know, definitely those hard tires aren't going to be lasting to the very end of the race, so possibly he's going to have to come into the pits once again. So rather pay it then, but I think he wants to pay it under the safety car, which would be the case. You know, he wants to pay the penalty, then catch back up to the grid once more. So yeah, these are your drivers, ladies and gentlemen, with penalties and everything around. In fact, Cap's going to be not the leader, but rather Interval. Hope you all watching so far are enjoying it. We've had some decent racing so far, but obviously the safety car comes in lap 9 out of 29, a little bit early, and that too on a random snap said by the driver. So that is interesting. Hopefully the stream and everything is running smooth so far. And interesting so far. So interestingly now, lap 10 out of 29 once more. The safety car is still going to be staying out. I wonder if I don't think the safety car is going to come in this lap, so a possible lap 12 restart, unless it comes in this lap, though. It can come in, but I think we should be knowing if it comes in by now in this lap, which I don't think will be happening. So a possible lap 12 restart if it comes in to the next lap, not in this one. So lap 11 we're going to go into. The safety car still staying out, so lap 12 would be the case. So everyone in the end should be catching up back to the safety car, and Masquerade is still leading ahead of Prototype along with Justin in P3. So all the Swift drivers leading and really dominating the race so far, along with George, if it is George's Mercy. So that is interesting. A lot of drivers, I wonder if, because these drivers' paces are different, unless, you know, Masquerator is a very good driver, is a very decent driver as well, but to say the least, I never really seen him, you know, fight for the race or for being that competitive. Maybe drivers that were racing there were way better, but he's got a brilliant lap. I mean, no matter how competitive you are, but if you take pole position by over 3/10, you are very good. So definitely, I think the top 3 drivers, Masquerade, Justin and Prototype, decent job from them so far. So they are doing it pretty nicely as it stands. So that is brilliantly done. So I think the safety car, only a couple of corners before we go racing once more and the restart happens. So I'll let you guys enjoy a bit of car noises from the car, and we'll be back as soon as the green flag is out and we go racing once more. And there we go, ladies and gentlemen. The safety car is now going to be in the pit lane, and we are going to be going racing once more. Safety car restart is on the cards. Who's going to be able to take it? Is it going to be Masquerade, or is it going to be Prototype? And it might not be Prototype out there. Is it going to be Justin, who's very closer to him out there as well? Or anybody at the back is going to be overtaking one another? It's going to be interesting to say the least. And Juno might be on the way to get ahead of George. Will he be sending it on the inside line? No. Very well done to George. In fact, defends it very nicely. So does Thunder. Defends it very nicely from the other McLaren of Day. As the drivers at the back are going to be overtaking, and Striker is going to be overtaking Suki into turn 3, turn 4. On the inside line is going to be sending it a little bit later on the brakes than the Haas driver. And the overtake has been done. Meanwhile, the two Alpine teammates are going to be side by side. This is interesting little battle between the two teammates. Meanwhile, at the back, there's going to be contact, and spun round's going to be Max. Oh, another contact with Speeder there, another car he hits, and spun round is Maisky. All the progress you would have thought he was trying to make and recover after starting in the last place. He finds himself colliding with a bunch of cars, and he's got no front wing end plate. In fact, a little bit more than the end plate on the left hand side, on the front wing missing, and definitely that is interestingly on now. And the two Alpine teammates are now soon to be joined by the Haas of Vaz there. So it's going to be a three-way fight from the two-way to a three-way fight at the moment at the front. Meanwhile, at the front, the Haas of Zuki's not far away as well. Meanwhile, Speeder and Max are going to be side by side. Max hasn't got a front wing after the contact, but he's got a front wing. He hasn't got the end plate on the front wing. And heading into the final corner, is he going to be sending it on the inside lane? Yes, he will be sending it, and they're going to make contact. He absolutely sent it there, and that might just have been a little bit unnecessary, but that was somewhat aggressive driving from Max there, and in the end gets the Ferrari a bit of damage as well. I wonder if he had a damage already from other contact, but definitely contact was made. These two did make contact, so not quite sure from what really was that the damage from. Meanwhile, it's going to be another chance. He's absolutely moving like crazy, Max there, trying to defend. And around the outside, he's going to go for it. But he's almost going to have Speeder spun round once more. And he's going to come back at him one more time. They're still going to be side by side. Max is pushed wide, makes contact with the Ferrari. Speeder goes through and gains a little bit of an advantage. But that's going to be done once more, as now Reaper at the back is arriving as well, as the drivers are around and all of them are out there, as Ferrari's going to go a little bit wide of Hart's out there, as these 4 drivers are brilliantly racing each other, ladies and gentlemen. If any of you are there in the points, sorry for that, but this little fight, only for P12 it is, 13 in fact, but it is brilliant so far between these drivers. They're really giving it all, doesn't matter if it's for points or not. Somewhat aggressive, it's nice. I mean, sure, you don't really like drivers being way too aggressive, but I think sometimes it's nice to add a little bit of a flavor the way the Max is driving. Is he going to send it on the inside? This time he doesn't. That is pretty surprising to me, honestly speaking, that he doesn't quite go for it. Meanwhile, Vaz is going to be through and ahead of the Alpine, heading towards turn 1. Oh no, in fact, this is going to be very closer to one another. It was on the inside though. He did brake later than the Alpine and went through. So everyone now has pitted once. In fact, some have pitted 3 times. Harten was pitted 2 times. His teammates Zim, Maisky and Reaper have pitted 3 times in this race. And now once more, this fight is still going on with Reaper now in there as well, along with Speeder. This is brilliantly as Max gains an advantage, and he's going to be through and ahead, or is he? Now they're banging into each other as the Ferrari's going to try and go around the outside, as Speeder's going to turn it on the inside line. He's going to be through, as Hart is going to come back at him, and through goes Hart there, as he's going to make the overtake done, and brilliantly done from Hart there. Oh, it's the bollard to Speeder, and absolutely every single one of them is having elbows out, and every single one of them has really got their elbows out there. Nobody is slowing down. Nobody is absolutely looking to slow down at all. It's really, they're going for it in no time, because nobody wants to slow down here and continue on. Brilliantly done, so job well done, as now it's going to be interesting to see. They're going to be side by side between the two. It's going to be Zuki and the McLaren of Dai, as who's going to be late and who's going to be through. It is going to be the Haas of Dai out there, as every single one of the bottom 5 have got a penalty, as Max into the pits. Yes, Max has came into the pits along with Mark, or Max hasn't. Mark has came into the pit, Max has as well, so a little bit things calming down, things going fine out there, because nobody was looking to back out of this wall, as interestingly goes on to a set of soft compound tires. Then he's going to pay the penalty as well. I think he's going to pay the previous one. He got another one around right now, but that is interesting. So from Max and then from Mark as well, going on to a set of soft tires right now. Possible possible strategy, I think, right now would be, probably do 6-7 laps on a set of softs right now from here, and then probably get a set of medium tires from for the later half of the race. Meanwhile, this one's going to be interesting as the AI of the McLaren driver is racing as he's left out the session, and Haas is going to be through. Meanwhile, his teammate Zuki is in front of him, and he'll be looking to get past him as well out there. He's definitely going to be looking for an opportunity. Meanwhile, this is interesting from Striker, Thunder, Juno, George, Justin, Prototype, and Masquerator. 2.9 seconds he's leading by. Brilliantly done, as Justin is absolutely looking for an opportunity to get past around here. When will he be doing that? No idea just yet. Is he going to be going for it this time around? No, he would have thought for it for a moment, but he won't be getting past it as Prototype goes. Whoa! Whoa! He was up in the air! He was absolutely flying! I wonder if that was a bug or that actually happened, but he went flying, ladies and gentlemen! I would be surprised if he's able to continue and if he hasn't got no underbody damage, but that was absolutely epic, ladies and gentlemen. What was happening out there? You all saw that on what's really happened on screen. I doubt that would have happened. He ran a little bit wide. I doubt that would have happened actually for him out there. Maybe a bit of a, as a bug, we would have seen that, but what was that? That nearly reminded me of F1 2015, back when there was no physics or maybe no gravity out on the ground and cars used to go flying. Slightly like that. He's definitely lost out positions as well, so definitely that did happen. At least he did run wide and made a mistake, so definitely him going in the air might have happened as well as George in P3 at the moment now. With Justin taking P2 so far, 3.4 seconds to Masquerator. He's enjoying his lead so far. Would be interesting to see as mediums of George and Masquerator versus the heart of Juno, Thunder, and Prototype. Interesting. I wonder if the stream is going on. It indeed is going on so far. So thanks EA for the third time in a row now. We've restarted, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully everything is gonna be there. Basically for me, internet, because of peak hours, differentiate things happen as well. But obviously we'll make sure that soon it's gonna be okay and fine. So let's hope for the best, ladies and gentlemen. There we go. We're back. I mean, everything's back into it, so I guess it's just not sure what exactly is wrong, but obviously not so good at all. But we'll need to join again, so we'll be back in the action once more, and we'll be back in the action in no time. Up until then, just wait a few seconds. We'll need an invite. Oh, we have. That is brilliant. That is brilliant from Reaper there. We've got an invite, and we should be in a session in no time. And there we're back into the session, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully the stream is running okay and fine. I've just talked to my internet provider, so some things and tweaks should be happening soon. And if there is a disconnection or an issue again, we'll be changing our internet eventually. As somewhat of pit stops now happening from drivers out there as it stands. So lap 19 out of 29, 10 to go. At the moment, at the front, it is Juno who is in P2. Meanwhile, Masquerator has came into the pit lane and he's got a penalty. He's got 13 seconds. He's got 13 seconds in penalties, ladies and gentlemen. Those penalties are not paid at all. So these penalties could well be the case, because you know that I've seen Masquerator drive brilliantly many times, but those penalties are the reason that he hasn't been able to capitalize on much of his results. As this is going to be interesting, as the two Alpine drivers are absolutely going at it once more. They're brilliantly going side by side. That is going to be, again, there's going to be will-to-will action between the two. We'll get back to the Discord in no time later on. So stream, I've no idea if stream saves it or not. It should save, but I have no settings of the Twitch account basically. So all I have is basically a stream key. I'll put it and start the stream. Title and everything is onto anyone who has this as the access of the channel. So if they've enabled it, it would be fine. If they haven't, unfortunately, it might be gone. But let's say, as now we're going to be actually on at it. So the two Alpine teammates are going at it all the time, every time. Meanwhile, these two are going at it as well. It's going to be Prototype and Thunder out there. And Thunder around the outside is going to be through. He goes very wide. He's going to be going very wide, and Prototype is going to be back onto it. And road to recovery is going to be on for him. But no, he's not going to allow him at all. And now Striker's going to be there around the outside as well. Prototype is now getting challenged from all the time ways. He sees left, he sees right. Challenges are on to him. They're going to be side by side, nearly going will to will into 10, 9, and 10. That would have ended up horribly head. They tried to do that. And as Mark is talking in the game audio, I wonder if we could mute that. I should have done that actually, but unfortunately I couldn't do it. Later on, not later on, but basically in the lobby. I actually should have done that. Out there, and there goes talking, so hopefully that's not reflecting too much onto the stream, because otherwise you know, it's going to be interesting to see. So now let's see, lap 20 out of 29 now. Not a lot remains. It's just in the moment. Looks nice, but he hasn't pitted. Remember, Masquerator is out on instead of 1 lap old hards, as everybody is now on older hard tires, as now he's going to come into the pits. As Thunder, that is. That's not Justin, but rather Thunder, his teammate, is now into the pit lane. But one man is going to be getting past Prototype. It's going to be Striker who's going to get past Prototype so far. Gets the job done. An overtake is on, so brilliantly done, as Masquerator is going to again get those positions back to him after a lot of overtake, after many drivers have pitted now in this race so far. So only one driver we've lost out in this race. Justin so far leads. Will pit again. Juno, Striker, all along with Prototype, will pit again, are in the top 4 so far, with Masquerator doesn't need to pit again. George has pitted again as well, so P5, P6, P7 for Thunder, along with Vaz in P8, with the Bahrain set of top medium tires, with the Hart, who will need to pit again eventually. I believe he's pitted 3 times already, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, he has pitted 2 times, so possibly he's going to be going on for a set of the Hart third pit stop, with Zuki in P10, along with Reaper in P11, Emperor P13, followed by the Red in P13, Emperor P12 with Mark in P14, and he's wide. He's went absolutely wide, and that would allow Dye to come back at him. Will he be able to come back at him? That's only a question. Time will tell, with Speeder in P16 as well, and down in P17 and 18 are Max and Mezusko. So that is in Mezuko, and that's interesting so far. Prototype within 4/10 of Striker, and this time around nothing should stop him to get past Striker there. Previous lap it was him, it was them, and this time around it's him. He's gonna get past, and the overtake has been done. Job well done to Prototype so far. Gets the overtake, gets the job done, and brilliantly well done so far for him. As Imperator then might have lost out as George is going to be over, but... And now that is interesting. Juno's going on the exit of the pit lane. He's just going to be out and ahead of Vaz. So that is nicely done for Juno, as now the top three are yet to pit. Masquerade are 11 seconds behind the next car of Striker, but now then Prototype, Justin and Striker, all three have not yet pitted in this. Obviously they have pitted in this race. It's not compulsory for them to pit, or mandatory for them to really have a pit stop, but as it stands they will need to pit 13 laps, 14 laps each on the set of hard tires, and still about 5 laps remaining after this one, so that's going to be very tricky, or in fact 6 laps remaining, almost 7 then, 6 or 7 laps in this race. So it's going to be very tricky for them to get a lap. Meanwhile at the back it is going to be a driver who's spun round, and it might be the other Aston Martin teammates of Masquerade. So, you know, Masquerade has gained the time. He's absolutely gaining already. The gap, which was over 11 seconds, is now 9.8, and he's into the pit lane. Meanwhile the top two are still staying out, still want to play long, so that is interesting, just playing a long game out here at the moment, and really look out to what can they really do towards the end of it. You know, you can't stay out too long though. You know that if you stay out too long it could really go against you. Meanwhile at the front there's going to be overtakes, and that is going to be done on Thunder, but George is going to come back at him around the outside. He's going to send it around the outside. He's going to be through now. And the DRC is going to be open in the Red Bull as well, right behind the Mercedes, and it's going to be through on the inside line as well, but he's going to hang it around the outside. Thunder's going to hang in there on the soft compound tyre, but no, the mediums are going to work well and give him more grip than the softs have done so far, and the job is done for Juno. Maybe not for the entirety of the race, but at least for these few corners. And once more on the exit of turn 10, another DRS zone comes in into turn 11. There's going to be opportunities to overtake. There's going to be chances for them to get past. This time around the Mercedes will have DRS along with the Red Bull, and the Red Bull of Juno is going to get past the McLaren of George. Is going to be through into P4. And job well done. Overtake gets down. Meanwhile, the two Ferrari and the Alpine are fighting each other out there, and it has to be Reth and Mark out there, and this Mark is going to be absolutely pushed around. They're going to be side by side as the Ferrari has to back out, as he went straight into the back of the Alpine there, but in the end backed out. Too many positions to fight for. Drivers have got, and there's going to be on the inside line. That was almost it felt like it happened in slow motion, but the job is done, and the move is done as well, and well done to Mark out there. And brilliantly done from him, as lap 24 out of 29 hopefully stream, and everything is running out all nice and easy so far, so that is interesting, as Hat has got the fastest lap so far in a set of soft compound tyres. Meanwhile the top drivers, Masquerator is into P3 now, 7.9 seconds, so now it has to be the time for Prototype and Justin to pit. It has to be the time now. They pit unless and until they want to go long, unless and until they want to go to the very end of this race and really play a different strategy, a very different strategy from everyone around. And you know, going long, I think it's interesting to go long, so interesting to say the least. Oh, that is interesting then. Now at the back there's going to be fights going on between Thunder and Striker, along with George in P6. Out there just ahead is Baz in P5 as well. But now the fights are on, obviously only ending laps of this race are now lap 25 out of 29. Now including this one. 5 laps remain to the end of this race. it's all to play for, and I think if these guys don't actually pit, it could be neck and neck between Masquerator and drivers at the front, but also remember he's got penalties as well, 13 seconds. So Justin might as well might be looking nice and easy for a you would say for a win or for an easy victory out there, you'd have to say, because brilliantly done out there, because you know that obviously 6.6 seconds is gaining, but I think at the moment actually Justin's in no, he doesn't need to pit, because obviously Prototype might try and pit, but I don't think he's going to try and pit as well. 6.3 seconds, but eventually 13 seconds penalty to Masquerator, you need 10 seconds, so which obviously won't be the case. So no matter whatever they do, P10, a P3, a podium for Prototype's going to be on the charts for sure. As 6 seconds, unless Juno catches up and something happens, but because Masquerator's got 13 seconds at a time penalties, he's going to have to fight for it. Justin's gaining. Justin's 7.5 seconds to Prototype, and definitely that gap to the leader for Masquerator's 13.3 seconds. So too much remains, and I think they would have pitted twice though, that's for sure. Oh no, they haven't. The top two have actually only pitted once, and making a one-stop work has to be absolutely brilliant. Meanwhile at the front, that is interesting. As all right, so there is actually quite a few merged cars, but many of them are lapped. Many of them are around with the lapped cars, and many of them are lapped out there. So that is interesting so far, as the fight between Vaz and Striker could be coming up soon, could be merging up soon in no time. 5 tenths the gap between the two. Meanwhile, Creator 5.4 to Prototype so far. But I don't think he's still gaining. He's still not gaining as much as he needs to gain, as much as he should gain in terms of performance and you know, in terms of having a chance at the lead at least. Obviously, he won't be winning with the amount of penalties he's got. So penalties to other drivers, it is 3 seconds to Prototype, 13 to Masquerator, 3 seconds to Thunder as well, along with 3 seconds to Hart, then 6 seconds to Wraith, 12 seconds to Die in the other Weldo, in the other McLaren, then 9 seconds to Speedor, followed by 10, 12 and 13 seconds of time penalties to Mark, Max and Mazisco. So interesting those are. So hopefully you've enjoyed racing, watching this section so far, as they in fact, I said the Alpine went wide, but he had to get out of the way in fact to really give the way to the cars behind. Otherwise it would have been ended in a bad way for him. So let's have a look at this one, as we're going to look at and go for the Ferrari, and these two are indeed fighting each other, as Hart and Reaper are going to be wheel to wheel, as Hart is going to be through and ahead of Reaper. Is going to come back to the racing line very rapidly and gets his rear wheel into the front wing of the Williams out there. And I think you have to say the Williams driver did not move. He was simply onto the racing line, but Hart came back to the racing line very aggressively. And in the end, it might have not been the best, and really would have had to really. So interesting as it stands. lap 27 out of 29, 3 tenths between these two, Vaz and Striker, 2 tenths between the two. It's still going to be interesting to see towards the very end of the race who takes this position, who's going to be having that position to themselves. As Justin, 3.9 seconds now, Masquerator to Prototype. Also remember, Prototype does have a penalty, but Masquerator still would need over 10 seconds to get ahead. So I think Prototype rather would be in a bit of pressure from Juno's 5.9. I don't think he's gaining enough to take up his P2 from him. So absolutely, you'd say that this is nice, and in the end, these two have gotten brilliant, brilliant in a way, that 28 out of 29, and I think a one-stop strategy, making a one-stop strategy work, and over 20 laps on these hard tires. So this lap is going to be lap 20 for them, so over 21 laps on a set of hards. And I think Prototype, obviously, even if he had the penalty, he didn't have the penalty, he wouldn't have affected his result. So I think he's brilliantly doing that. 3.5 seconds now to Mars Crater, but penalties again. As I said, you know, mistakes are the reason that really lose you out a lot of races, lose you out positions, and in the end, very crucial points for you. Still P3, a very good result, a very decent result, you have to say, so no doubt about that, but, you know, it has to be said in a way that now final lap is in, the final lap of the Grand Prix has started, ladies and gentlemen. Lap 29 of 29. Justin Mann, our race leader, with Prototype in P2, Masquerator in P3, followed by Juno in P4 with Fav in P5, and Striker's going to be right behind him. Striker's going to be going for it on the inside line into turn 1. He's going to try and defend the inside line, but not quite enough. They're going to make contact as Tevez is going to come back at him, and they're very close to each other. There might be an opportunity for the R-Star driver to come back at him at the next DRS zone. Will he be able to do and get past him? I don't think so. He's not going to be close enough to be making that move so far. Maybe soon at other opportunities at other parts of the track, but not this time around though, as he's going to have to work for it very hard at the moment as it stands. So that is going to be job well done and brilliantly done from these drivers so far. So lap 29 out of 29 as it stands. Meanwhile, Juno MP4, as we're going to go to our race leader. He's only got one corner to go. No penalty to him. And even without it, Justin has done it brilliantly. 21 laps on these hard compound tires and making a one-stop work. It is going to be Justin the man who's going to win the Bahrain Grand Prix and win round 1. And Prototypes ran super wide. He's ran very wide in the end. Got a 3-second time penalty, but it's going to be to come to no effect in the end. He's going to finish it ahead of Mars Crater. He's going to finish in P3 and he's going to lose out positions to others. And that is going to go from bad to worse for Mars Crater. P3 for Juno, P4 for Striker. What a result for Red Bull as a team with Fav in P5, Mars Crater in P6 at the moment. With George in P7 in the end. Thunder in P8 has taken the checkered flag. Suki is going to come in P9 as well as the final points scoring position should be going to Hart unless he has too many penalties. He only has 3 seconds, so the final point scoring position is going to go to Hart, and then Reaper in P11, a decent finish for him in the end as well after gaining 7 positions, and from where he started 20 laps on the Hards as well from him. Let's not ignore that. Oh, that is interesting. Now it's going to be spun round as towards the very end. Emperor and Rith has almost said a slide, but rather almost made him spun round there. And that is going to be the end of racing. That is going to be drivers coming to the very end of it. And it was Justin. He's done it brilliantly once more and gets the job done, ladies and gentlemen. Congratulations to our race winner. In that Mercedes car, brilliantly does George. And what a floor. And look at that, as I said, as a Prototype was launched in the air, indeed, it was not a bug. And floor damage would have been for him. Indeed, there was floor damage for him, but still, P2 was it for him. Has to be brilliantly as Justin takes as well to Canadian double podium as well. Brilliantly done. So race winner Justin, fastest lap to Maisco with driver of the day to Fav, followed by most overtakes, and cleanest driver was Zuki. So that in the end is, ladies and gentlemen, that's the annoying microphone on Mark, but unfortunately I don't have them muted. So Justin then wins with Prototype in P2, with Juno in P3 after obviously penalties. Prototype P2, Juno in P3, Striker in P4, Fav in P5 with the Masquerator in P6, followed by George, Thunder, Zuski, and Hart completing out the top 10. Just outside are Reaper, Emperor, Wraith, Weldo, Weldie, Speeder, Mark, Maxi, Maxim, and then Maisco completing out the 18 drivers with Grayson out of this one. So ladies and gentlemen, that is going to be the end of this one then. Hope you all watching really enjoyed it, and hopefully somewhat an opportunity to see you guys soon in no time. So that was myself, Zabi, and hope you all watching really enjoyed all the action out here, Season 13, Round 1. Hopefully we'll be back for Round 2 as well for Digital Racing Championship. It was myself, Zabi, and hope you all really watching enjoyed it. And from all of us here at Digital Racing and everyone watching, hope you all enjoy it. And then that is going to be the end, ladies and gentlemen. All coming to an end. It was brilliantly done. Once again, congratulations to our winner and our podium sitters, Prototype and Juno. This is going to be coming to final parts of it as we're now out. Adios. Bye-bye.